Everyone, welcome to my channel. This is me Sayyid Shujatullah, your educator. You know guys, the current affairs are very important for all the examination, whether you are preparing for SI or whether you are preparing for AEE examination and any of the forthcoming examination which was announced on the Independence Day by the CM Revanth Reddy sir. That every 6 months you are going to get what? Notifications. Right, today we'll be talking about some important current affair which is given by CAG, Comptroller and Auditor General. So Article 148 of the Constitution deals with this very official dignitary, the precious dignitary that we have, because he is going to audit the accounts of central and state government, both of it. Okay, so this is one of the unitary bias also you can say with regard to our constitution, which is more inclined toward the center. So CAG appointment etc is done by the president, obviously on the aid and advice of what PM and Council of Minister. That is the basic understanding with regard to the polity. You might be aware of it. Okay, auditing is nothing but looking at the balance sheet. Balance sheet is nothing but how much money the government of India or the Telangana has received and how they have spent that money on various welfare or infrastructure activities. So he is going to do the quantitative, okay, in numbers, the complete balance sheet, not even 1 rupee is corrupted like that. Okay, and he's also doing the qualitative, whether the proposed projects or programs has really bring cheers on the face of the poor people or has led to some important economic transformation in construction of infrastructure projects. So Telangana records rupees 19,266 crores revenue deficit in 4 months. That is what the CAG has said. Whether this is good or bad, we are going to learn it in just a minute. For those who are watching me, so remember this one AEE test series and current affairs, these both are going on. You can be a part of it and you can enhance and add value to your preparation without just being self-contained by yourself. Okay, so it's very important that current affairs and Telangana Economic Survey, Telangana Budget, Telangana Current Affairs, along with national international current affairs and disaster management. If you're not studying this in the paper one, so you are out of race because 30 marks will come from this. Okay, then those who are preparing for SI, civil examination or ASI, forensic examination, a separate batch is going to start. So you can be a part of it for all subjects. I'll be teaching you just for the very reasonable amount. So let us now talk about what's the meaning of revenue deficit. You know that it's very common that if you are having obviously when you are talking about something like a business, when you're having a business, so you will sell your items. In exchange of selling the items, the people will give you money. This process will continue 24/7, right or wrong? 7 days, 24 hours. So this is called as what? Revenue receipt. Means you are receiving the money again and again in exchange of your goods. But sometimes what happens? You require some money, so you borrow a loan from the bank. Okay, for the term of like 5 years. So this is called as what? Capital receipt. Means capital is nothing but something which is coming for a long period of time. Revenue is something which is coming for a short period of time, nothing but which is very much recurring, which is having what? A long-term nature. Capital means long-term nature. I hope this is all clear to you. So revenue deficit basically is considered to be evil for the state finances. Why? Because in revenue deficit we are actually spending on the things that are not creating any assets, that are not creating any long-term infrastructure, etc. so and so forth. Revenue receipts and revenue expenditures are basically you are actually getting in very small amounts and you are spending that small amounts on various activities, so not leading to what? Any bigger economic structural infrastructure, right? So right, that is what called as revenue deficit. Revenue receipts, when it is less than the revenue expenditure, then we call it as what? Revenue deficit. This is the standard definition of a formula you can say with regard to revenue deficit. So CAG has said that Telangana has recorded this much in the year 2026 to 2027, while the fiscal deficit reached 57.7% of the annual target. Please, this is important for the examination. This is amount and also this percentage. The latest CAG report has also highlighted that slow revenue growth is also very slow in Telangana. It seems rising recurring expenditure again and again. The government of Telangana is spending money on various activities, not leading to any kind of infrastructure creation or long-term assets. Increasing dependency is happening with regard to what? Borrowings. Okay, we as a state is borrowing more. We are depending on borrowings in order to fulfill our various commitments, social or economic welfare activities. Okay, then you are having here fiscal deficit. Fiscal deficit is nothing but the fiscal deficit, the formula for this is like total revenues minus total expenditure. So we are here taking total revenues, revenue receipts, capital receipts, revenue expenditure, capital expenditure. When you're taking all of it, then we call it as fiscal deficit. Please remember this point. Okay, I hope this is all clear to you. Let us go ahead. Okay, this point you remember that according to the CAG, okay, which one of the following has been outlined as one of the you can say that aspects with regard to the government of Telangana, the state finances, like slow revenue growth rate, rising recurring expenditures, increasing dependence on borrowings. Right, this is all clear. Telangana finances are showing a widening gap. Widening gap is nothing but revenue receipts or lesser. This gap is increasing. This gap is increasing. This gap is increasing. So that is what it is showing. Widening gap between revenue and expenditure, with the state already running 19,260 crore deficit is already there in the first 4 months of the CAG. April is the starting month. April, May, June, July. In the first 4 months of this financial year 2026 to 2027, Telangana has actually recorded this much amount of what deficit, and borrowings have crossed the half of the annual budget estimates. Means Telangana government during the budget presentation said that okay, we are going to actually 1 lakh rupees we are going to borrow in this 2026 to 2027, nothing but April to March 2027 we are going to borrow only 1 lakh. But within 4 months we have actually taken what the borrowings of 50,000, means 50% of the borrowings we have already done with regard to whatever we have estimated that we are going to borrow with whole of this financial year. Why this is happening? Because slow pace of revenue receipts. Okay, if you go on cracking down the trade businesses on terms of corruption, bribery, etc., so and so forth, then sir, you are not going to get money. You have to be loosening the things. Okay, and every other time the cases are going to the court, which is not a good indicator of what is of doing business in Telangana. Due to the slow pace of revenue receipts and increasing expenditure, the state is increasingly depending on borrowing, as per the latest report published by the Controller Auditor General of our country. Notwithstanding the Congress government claims of spending the majority of the revenue on repayment of principal and interest for the loans obtained by the previous BRS government. Again, you know that Revanth Reddy sir is always saying that we are getting the deficit because the last government, BRS government, has actually did lot of debt they have put in Telangana. So we are actually repaying that debt. That is what the CM Revanth Reddy sir is saying, that మీరు అప్పులు చేసుకున్నారు, ఓకే, ఆ అప్పుల కోసం నేను ప్రిన్సిపల్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ కడుతున్నాను, దానివల్ల మాకు డెఫిసిట్ వస్తుంది అని చెప్తున్నారు. ఓకే, ద కాంగ్రెస్ గవర్నమెంట్ ఇస్ ఆల్వేస్ క్లెయిమింగ్ దాట్ ఓకే ద లోన్స్ అడ్వాన్స్ అండ్ డిస్పోజ్ బై ద స్టేట్ గవర్నమెంట్ April July stood at 5,000, okay, lower than 6,000 in the corresponding last year. So whatever the loans taken by the BRS government, okay, that loans are being repaid. 6,000 we have repaid, 6,000 crores we have repaid in last fiscal. This fiscal we have spent around 5,000 crores. So we are, obviously we are actually repaying the debts for sure. Okay, more troubling is the lack of complete fiscal disclosure in some of the area. The monthly accounts state that the information on the state guarantees of July 31 and borrowings on the public accounts has not been received from the state government. Okay, reporting is also being not done by the state government to the central government. They have to do it. This leaves important components of the state financial position outside the latest available picture. As because when you don't give the data to the government of India, to the CAG, how can they properly assess what is actually happening? So lack of fiscal disclosure, nothing but the state government is not properly disclosing that what money they have received and how much they have spent and where they have spent. They are not doing that. The Congress government has incurred 33,000, almost like 34,000 crore fiscal deficit by July, equivalent to 57.7% of the annual. Okay, which is already we have done. Net borrowings and other liability. Net borrowings are nothing but okay. So we will borrow money. We'll borrow money, 100 rupees we have borrowed, right or wrong. Okay, in that you might have paid 50 rupees. So what is still net borrowing is left 50. Okay, so when you're paying principals and interest and whatever is left out, that is called as net borrowings. Okay, the net borrowings and other liabilities of the state government has reached the same level, indicate the extent to which the debt is being used to bridge the fiscal gap. So whatever the fiscal gap is there, we are doing a large amount. We are always dependent upon what? The particular what I say is that borrowings. Revenue receipts stood at 59,000 crores, 24.72% of annual estimate of very, very, very less. This year the government of Telangana has expected that 2.41 lakh rupees of revenue receipts will get, but in 4 months we have got 50,000. But if you see like this is very good only. 60,000 in 4 months, 60,000 in 4 months, 60,000 in 4 months. Okay, no, it's very bad because okay, so we are actually running 1 quarter less with regard to what is the estimation here. Okay, against these revenue expenditures have touched, okay, this much you are earning, this much you are spending, obviously already gap is there, and whatever you are earning, it is nothing but okay 1 quarter of what actually you have estimated for this fiscal year, 33.66% of the annual allocation. Okay, so this much is the expenditure. Okay, is actually we have Okay, we have actually this much is the receipts and this much is the expenditure. So always you can see that there's a lot amount of expenditure has been already done. Okay, the pressure is particularly visible in the recurring expenditure. Okay, again and again for the recurring expenditures, basically on mobile, for now transportation, for telecommunication, for safety, for security, for giving out salaries, etc. So and so forth. That has been recurring. Salaries and wage payments reached to 17,000 crores, almost like 18,000 crores by July. Pension expenditures stood at 10,000 crores. Okay, 9,500 crores already. 71% of annual provisions. Interest payments touched to 10,000 crores. Subsidy expenditure 7,000 crores, 43%. So you can see that. Wow, beautiful information with regard to what your examination. Please. Okay, you should know this 3 or 4 whatever is written here. The pace of expenditure has accelerated also with the last year. Even expenditure during the April to July was around 17,000 against 15,000 the corresponding period of 2025 to 2026. Means in 2025-2026 the expenditure was only for 16,000 crore, but in the same period in 2026 to 2027 we have got 17,000 crore. So 2,000 crore has increased with regard to recurring expenditure from the last year comparison. Pension expenditure also risen from 6,000 to 10,000 when compared to the last 2 years. Okay, that is what is happening. Okay, meanwhile the revenue mobilization has not kept. It means a lot of taxes we levy, and from the taxation we are not getting much money. That is only called as revenue mobilization has become has actually kept very less low pace. Tax revenues 53,000 crores represented only 29, like almost 30% of the annual target. GST collection stood at 19,000 crores. Sales tax around 12,000 crores. Non-tax revenues nothing but fees, charans, etc. Okay, 4,000 crores, which is nothing but only 11% of the annual. So whatever the estimates that we have done for 2026 to 2027, in all that estimates, we are very far. We are not up to the mark. Okay, just like your preparation is by the August you will complete the syllabus, but you are not completing any of the subjects by the August. So that is how it is. This is however one significant positive change is there with regard to the capital expenditure has increased, which is also one of the norm of the central government. Also 9,200 crores, 19.62% of the annual allocation. Spending excluding salaries. Okay, 8,009 almost like 9,000 crores compared with 5,500 crores earlier this year. Increase of 57% happened with regard to what salaries payments have increased. Okay, from 6,500 to 8, almost like 9,000. Okay, from the Congress government the real challenge is whether the higher capital spending can be sustained without allowing pensions, interest, subsidies and other recurring commitments. Okay, that is very important because to consume a ever large share of available resources, the immediate numbers may still be manageable, but if the revenue does not catch up, the state will have increasingly less room to spend on the development without borrowing more. So if any question comes in the examination with regard to fiscal management, okay, this is the conclusion you have to write. Okay, you should not be writing Congress government, you should not write, but the other things you can definitely write, and that how you can conclude your answer, mains answer in the examination, group 1 examination. I hope this is all clear to you. If you are having any doubts, please write in the comment section and do join the courses for the better of. Okay, and then so capital spending, whatever the government is doing, okay, can be sustained. I mean, good capital expenditure we are doing. Nothing but capital expenditure. Bharat Future City we are having. Musi rejuvenation projects we have. A lot of infrastructure projects. Metro phase 2 is also going to happen. So capital expenditure can be sustained without allowing pension. Okay, interest, subsidy and other recurring commitments to consume even a larger share of available resources. Okay, so if you try to increase the capital expenditure, okay, keeping all of these commitments same only, can you able to manage the expenditure or not? This is the big question. Okay, that's all. I hope this is all clear to you. Take care. See you.